backing music was used illegally.
That ExP with Remarkable, Unremarkable. He made the album to lift himself up and pull him out of the quagmire. Ain't we all, man? Ain't we all, brother?
I went on a stag do to London the other year.
Very special guest, ExP from Flame Griller, the West Yorkshire rap crew. He's a top bloke. Buy everything he does.
The WYcast is made possible by people going on the XP homepage, www.exp.uk, and buying my albums on vinyl and CD and getting merch as well. So big thanks to everyone who has, and if you enjoy these podcasts, please consider helping out by going and buying some. Welcome to the WYcast Series 4. Big up if you've been here before. But if you've not, then you've missed a lot, and I've quickly got to get you up to speed for sure. So I'm XP, or people call me Ben, hip-hop musician based in Leeds, who's being more intent to promote the scene full of dope MCs, dope producers, dope people whose hopes and dreams involve being part of hip-hop. Might be the love of their life, they might do it just on the side, or go whole hog and it's a company vibe. We're just looking to push hip-hop in West Yorkshire, WY, so with a GoPro and a couple of mics, a Zoom recorder, some seats and things, I meet them in somewhere scenic, and we begin this episode of the WYcast featuring Phyn, aka Phenicia. They were kind enough to give up their time to come and meet me at Wharf Chambers, and then my GoPro just decided to completely jack it in for the day. Didn't stop working. I managed to look over at one point about 10 minutes in, so the first 10 minutes or so, no picture I'm afraid, but most people listen to this anyway. Anyway, Phyn is a superstar, incredible MC, incredible singer, got a real ear for the dope stuff, and if I'm honest, 5 years time, it'll probably be one of those situations where like, they are killing it. Definitely one to watch if you're not familiar with them. Great chat. Enjoy. Phyn.
Yo.
AKA Phenicia?
Yeah, Phenicia.
Phenicia. Sorry,
Yeah.
Phenicia. My bad. Thank you so much for joining me at Wharf Chambers. It's a good spot, man. I only did a gig here the other day, and you popped up, and I was like, yo, there you are. Having sent you an Instagram post, which apparently didn't happen,
Well,
an Instagram
yeah.
message a while ago, because I was desperate to get you on this, so thanks so much for joining me. I've proper been enjoying your music since I first heard of you, which was like 2021, I feel, on a Chills Myth beat.
Yeah,
Does that sound right?
Yeah,
and since then, you've been like, you seem to have taken opportunities that aren't afforded to a lot of rappers, producers, singers, whatever in the area, that have just been really sick and like been dope, done some great shows and stuff. So I just want to kind of big you up for starters, because it's been amazing to see it.
I appreciate
and
that.
yeah, just sort of find out a bit about you, really, man. Are you Leeds originally? Are you Yorkshire, or where did you grow up?
Born and raised in Leeds.
Nice. What year were you born?
95.
95, young as fuck, right? Nice, nice. Yeah.
To some,
Still in your 20s, yeah, late 20s.
Turning 30 this year.
Are you 30 this year?
Yeah,
Nice.
well.
How's that feel?
Yeah.
Well, I turned 40 in 2 months,
You
if that
look
makes you feel
great.
You said all the right things at the start, man. So, was it a musical household? Because you're an amazing singer, so I assume there was a lot of singing going on when you were young and that.
Yeah, man. Like, born and raised in the church.
Nice.
And
Which
that's
church?
Mount Zion. It was my granddad's church.
Dope.
Like my dad's a preacher.
Oh, wow.
My stepmom's a preacher. My granddad owns his own church. Then there was the brothers, and then my great grandma owned her church on Victoria Road.
Crazy.
Big
religious family.
Yeah. That's where it sparked, and that's where it started.
Yeah.
Like, I played drums when I was really, really young.
Fire.
In the church.
Yeah.
My dad played bass and my uncle played keys.
Yeah.
And was just singing from young. So that was the spark, innit?
Nice. So there was a lot of performing. Was there any like solo performing at a young age of like singing, or was it always as part of a choir?
Bit of both, to be honest. Yeah, a bit of both.
Fair.
A bit of both. Like,
Have you always liked performing in front of people? How do you feel about that? Or was it like nerve-wracking as a kid, or was that just like everyone does this, so get on with it?
I think, like, it wasn't. I guess it wasn't like natural, but there's just that part of like praise and testimony that you give, having the confidence to do that part.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that like it was just it wasn't in my brain to like, oh, I'm gonna be a performer from this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Later on, yeah, when I was like in my teens, like, yeah, I was like, oh, music is the thing that I want to do.
Right, interesting. So what was that? What was that transitional way? Like, nah, this is the thing that I wear. Does hip hop start coming in at that point? Like, where did
hip-hop
rap
came like later when I was in uni.
Oh, okay.
So like it was all like just the learning of it. I only played in church,
Yeah.
and I only sang really in church or at home.
Yeah.
And then, like, going into high school, I started playing guitar.
Dope.
And then I was already like writing bits of poetry and stuff, but then I started like singing and playing.
Yeah.
And then kind of found like, oh, that's like a thing.
Yeah.
And then I think I was like 14 or something, and I did when I was doing my GCSEs and I was doing an exam, and my teacher was just like, I think you should sing this song instead of just playing it.
Wow.
And I sang it, and that was the first time I'd like sang in front of people that wasn't in church.
Yeah,
Do you know
and
what I
something
mean?
that you'd written as well, right? Is that the first time you
No,
performed?
I sang a cover. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, okay.
I think it might have been like Somewhere Over the Rainbow or
Oh,
something.
dope.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then I started singing and playing from there.
Sick.
And I started singing my own songs and originals and writing like a lot more.
Nice. So you said hip hop comes in around your teens.
Hip hop came when I was at uni.
Uni, sorry. Where'd you go uni?
Beckett.
Nice. What'd you
Met
do?
when it wasn't.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it was met.
What'd you do?
Music performance and production. It was a new course.
Yeah.
But it was just like a little bit of both. It was just like stage stuff and then like learning how to produce your own stuff.
Yeah.
And then I met someone there that's just like opened my eyes to like this whole
Who, can you name drop him?
Christian.
Okay.
His name was Christian.
No production name.
I can't. Mr. Chill, which is kind of mad.
That's mad. Yeah, crazy.
Which is kind of mad. I think that was his name back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he was from Sheffield, and he came and studied. I don't think that university weren't for him.
Yeah.
But we got to spend like a good amount of time together, just chilling.
Yeah.
Literally, like, didn't really go to the lessons and was like, yo, let's go back to yours and just chill out and whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just opened my eyes to like loads.
Music and that.
Yeah.
Sick. What was it that picked your ear at the time? Like things that were like, this.
Some of the artists, like old 90s kind of boom bappy kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which is where like me and Chills kind of like
Yeah.
connected. You know what I mean?
Defo.
But like A Tribe Called Quest, like all the De La Soul, all of that kind of stuff.
Sick as hell.
Yeah, I'm like, there was some stuff back then. If I had a minute, I'd be like, oh, flick through my Spotify and see what
of course,
it was,
yeah.
innit? But that kind of like
I get it.
era and that kind of
Yeah. Found it inspiring. Like.
yeah, 100%. And then he was an amazing rapper. Like his wordplay and like his imagery, I was just so impressed by it all. And I was like, oh my god, I can actually write music and like say a lot more in a rap than I can say in a song.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be so like structured or whatever.
Yeah, you can only really make about only so many points you can make in a song, really.
Exactly.
Whereas rap, you 3 verses of like really going in on something specific, innit? Like,
Exactly. And that's literally what happened.
dope.
That's literally what happened. And then the first beat that I wrote on at home
Yeah.
was Fujila.
Yeah. Dope. Nice.
And then
What were you
I kinda
writing
just
about?
went,
What was natural for you to go straight in on at that time?
the world and
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah.
that's still something that's like really prominent in my brain.
I'd say it is, yeah. I've
Um,
never seen you as a rapper as like, I'm amazing, I'm incredible. You know, a lot of rappers around the way, it's like just bars about how great I am, but yours is always like about life, about love, about the world, which is dope, man. Like, and I think harder to get through because some people, especially if they're just hip hop heads, they do just want to hear bars. Do you know what I mean? And like you can just get bogged down in that. So I think it can be harder to go in that
I've
direction.
been super conscious of that, and like it's kind of like played on my brain for however many years, and I'm like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Or like, is this is this going to resonate with anybody, or is it going to resonate with any money either? Do you know what I mean? But like, yeah, is this what people want to hear? And then I kind of got to a point where I was like, oh, I don't care.
There we go.
And
That's
like,
the full circle.
Yeah,
Because you're doing it for you, innit?
Yeah,
and if someone,
man.
and inevitably people still go, that meant a lot to me. And then you're like, well, I changed one person. That's great. But fundamentally, doing it for you is like,
yeah,
the main
100%.
thing, innit? Like, so first bars to Fuji La then. So did you, from that point at uni, were you just like, do you sort of get the bug and were just like writing? And when was the first time you got an original beat and wrote to that? Or did you make the production yourself?
I'm like, what was it? I think it actually was that Joel Smith.
Get out of town. So how did you guys meet each other for the first time then?
Oh my God, how did we meet? I'm like, Chills, how did we meet? Tell me from the ether, please. I think, what was that? There was a night that I know Precincts used to rap at a lot.
Oh yeah.
At Santiago.
Oh yeah, fully. I remember.
Do you remember what that night was called?
I can't remember for the life of me what it's called.
And then they did one at LS6 Cafe.
Yeah.
This was time ago.
Yeah,
This was
yonks ago.
time
Yeah.
ago.
What, we like 7-8 years ago we're talking now?
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah.
So like, I think that was my first kind of memory of like meeting those two.
Yeah.
And meeting Chills. And then I think it was just like Temple of Boom, maybe.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Maybe. So, like, in those kind of pockets, do you get me?
Yeah.
And then, I think that was it. And, like, he might have messaged me, probably on Insta, maybe Facebook.
Yeah.
And then through COVID, through COVID, he'd sent me, like, 11 beats or something.
Sick.
And I wrote to them all.
Oh, sick.
I wrote to them
mental.
all. And then out of those 11 beats came about 4 or 5 tunes.
Yeah.
And then the one that stuck was Way Back.
So, and was that the first time you sort of considered yourself as an artist then? At what point did you name yourself Phenicia?
I mean, Phenicia is my birth name.
Sick. And was it always the plan to just go with that as the rap name? When you were rapping, you were like, I'm going to be called MC fucking Triple R.
No, I started. So, like, when I was just kind of finishing uni, or when I started doing a master's, I did like half of it, and then, Phoenician Gold. I figured out what my name was.
Dope.
And like what it meant. I didn't like my name for ages. Not that I didn't like it, but I was just like, I don't know. It just felt a bit complex to me. And then, like, yeah, when I was in like my 3rd year of uni, I started doing a bit of research about myself and like where my family came from and like what my name was and all of this stuff. And then, like, finding out who the Phoenicians were.
Is it from, because I've seen the Phoenician spelled O-E.
Yeah.
Talk to me. I have no idea about this. I'm interested in having a little history lesson.
Yeah, I think that's because I always used to see it like in the back of the Bible. There used to have like maps of like where the Israelites travelled through and all of this stuff. And like, I'd always see like Phenicia, like written on this map.
I've walked up the Phoenician steps, which is in Italy somewhere, which they built into the side of a mountain. It's massive.
Yeah.
And it was, that's the only Phoenician, information I know.
That's the kind of like inspiration for the name, I guess.
Cool.
I think I don't know if my parents were just like, oh, let's just drop the but that's definitely like where it came from. I think the story goes that like I was supposed to be called Bethany, which is just no disrespect to the Bethany's
I'm sure there's some sick Bethany's out there. Yeah.
But yeah, my name was supposed to be Bethany, and then apparently I came out and I just didn't look like a Bethany, and I had like loads of hair on the top of my head.
Yeah.
That this is what my mum tells me anyway. I had loads of hair on top of my head, and it was like it reminded them of like this palm tree. And apparently Phenicia means like land of the palms.
Oh right,
so,
nice.
Like,
that's cool. Too deep, man.
And then finding out that like this name Phenicia was like this whole civilization of like the birth of languages and people and all of this stuff, and like how much it like spread across like northern Africa and like, you know, like the the Mediterranean and all of that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's a big deal. Do you know what I mean? I think like knowing that, I like started to take a lot of pride in my name.
Very cool.
And then I felt like I still feel like my music is gold, and that's where like Phoenician gold came in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I ran with that for a little bit.
Yep.
And then I think just a couple of years later, I was like, no, just Phenicia is my name.
Yeah.
And I am proud of my name.
Yeah.
And yeah, all capitals, and yeah,
Sick.
That's kind of. where
And
that
was
came from.
so was the first thing you ever put out like publicly, even on a SoundCloud or anything like that one with Chills from 21?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
And
yeah.
what were your thoughts behind it? Were you like, I'm just gonna put stuff out, or did you know people were like, "Where are you doing some tunes? Are you doing some tunes?" By that
Just
point,
wanted to
like?
put stuff out.
Yeah.
I think at that point, like, I stopped working. Obviously, we was all in lockdown and stuff. And
Yeah.
then I kind of went through this whole thing of like, I actually can't go back to work in a job that I hate. And music is never going to run away from me.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to run away from it.
Yep.
And at that point, I was just like, do you know what? Fuck it. Like, just do it, innit? Like, just put it out, because I can. And like, we have the ability to put music out like independently or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just did it, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I know I can do that. I recorded at home. Someone that I knew, I think I just met them online or whatever, was like, oh, I can mix and master it. And I was like, okay, fine, cool. Because I didn't know anything about doing that at that point. And then, yeah, they did that. And I was like, sick, I've just released a tune. And then from then I was like, oh, well, like, it's kind of easy now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Is that how it felt? Yeah. Did it kind of snowball from
Yeah.
that? Because you seem to like know every fucker in Leeds who's like sick as fuck, and I mean musician wise.
Yeah.
Like, what? How did you? From that point onwards, were you like getting out there gigging, or were you out there like just meeting people, or what was the route to like? Because you just. Man, just as an example, right, you're the bassist in your band, which I want to come on to talk about later, is a guy called Woody,
Yeah.
who's like fucking
Insane.
unbelievable.
Insane.
I played with him a couple of times, he's come through to John Matoni a couple of times, and the guy's just like playing and then going, oh, just play an A. I'm like, oh yeah, that is better actually. But how the fuck, at the time you're concentrating on making something up, do you go, oh, and the piano needs to play that note? He's crazy with it, man.
Incredible. I think just putting myself in spaces, and like a lot of the friends that I had were like also involved, like going to Sunday practice at Cellar Bar. Like, I met loads of musicians there.
Yeah.
Met loads of like writers and poets and like really amazing people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, friends of friends of friends of friends, and it just kind of grew like that. And yeah, like I said, just putting myself in certain spaces, and yeah, just being about. Like, there was a quite a long period of my time between like quite a long period of time in my life.
Yep.
From like 20 to like 26, 27, where I was just about, like, whether that was because I worked in church, which was like Old Halo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then I started working in Old Red Bus Station and met loads of people there.
Damn nice.
I worked at Doghouse just around the corner, met loads of people there.
Yeah.
Working at Wharf, and like, yeah, I think the places that I've just naturally fallen into because of like people that I've known for a job or something like that, like has led me to knowing like some really beautiful people.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't know you without Chills. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's all links in it, man. Community
it's
stuff.
all links and
Love
it's all
that.
networks, and each one teach one kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
fully.
yeah, man, Chills in Hyde Park, as in like chilling in Hyde Park.
Yeah. There's a lot of chills in this episode, man.
Yeah, like over a few summers, and like meeting people there, and yeah, just being introduced to different friends, man, and like that. I think that's how it's always come about, and how it's always gonna come about for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Like, yeah.
When was the first Phenicia live show then? Because it like
Band or no band?
let's say no band, I assume. Well, actually, it was the first one with a band.
No, I kind of did like open mics and stuff,
Yeah.
and from doing open mics, got asked to do like little sets and whatever,
Yep.
and then I'm like, oh my God, what was the process? I think just the whole thing that happened after COVID, because I literally, after lockdown and we started going back to work,
Yeah.
I went to work for about a week and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I actually can't.
What was work that you were going back to? What was it? Office stuff?
I was working in retail.
Oh, right, yeah, fair.
I was working in retail and I'd worked in
Your
retail
face
for like 6 weeks.
physically changed when you said the word retail, led to like,
Because, yeah, man, I was just sick of like trying to fob off these like 170 quid shoes to people, like, and do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, I mean, I took a load of mushrooms over lockdown and I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
But also, like, this realization of like, this is just not it, man. Like, this is not it. It's something that's taken up a lot of my time, a lot of my brain space, and like, fair enough, I need to earn money, but like, surely there's another way. Like,
Yeah.
surely there is another way.
yeah, I love
And
that.
then after that, I was like broke for a bit, whatever. And then I was just writing music. I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, I'm actually so happy. Like, whether I've got money or not, like, I'm actually content with myself and like with my mind. And then kind of like moved about a little bit. But I was just like, whatever I do, I'm putting music at the forefront of my brain.
Yeah.
And from then I was just, like more people sending me beats and then more writing and more production and all of this stuff. And then I just started just gigging more.
So what does your day look like? Are you literally like getting up, breakfast, and then music, and then more music and music, or is it like do you literally structure it around
no.
and is that the creative side of music, or even just chilling out listening to something like?
You know what? I probably I listen to the music that I listen to probably has nothing to do with the stuff that I write at all. Like I listen to a lot of gospel. I listen to a lot of like. I think gospel and reggae are like my top played genres.
Nice. Yeah.
And I think that's just to do with like lyricism and like the musicality of it all. Like I'm always going to be interested in it. And that to me is inspiring. That to me inspires what I write. Do you know what I mean?
I get that. Yeah. You still got those religious links then? Do you still go to church and stuff?
My parents do. I don't. But it's something that I'm kind of like not dipping in and out of, but like I definitely deal with spirit on a daily basis, and like I'm fully aware that like that's what happens between people, between myself. Like, yeah, it's in my brain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Because religion can be really divisive and also very I'm going to use the word binary, but I don't even mean it in that context. But it is very man and woman, Adam and Eve, and all that kind of thing. And it doesn't necessarily sit in a 2025 existence, and it must be tricky for like you to have that on one side and on the other side just wanting to be yourself. And like
I think there's this massive thing of like religion and spirituality and the differences between those things. Do you know what I mean? And like I say, I definitely deal with my spirit and on a daily, and I think the religion aspect of it, it is very constraining, and it is very, like you say, it is very binary, and I don't really ramp with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But like, I do see the benefits of like studying different religions in terms of like what it has to offer, because at the end of the day, no matter what like politicals come into it, like there's truth in it, and it was there for a reason in the beginning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's like so much to learn from it, from all different walks of life and all different religions. I think there's so much to be learned from it, and I find it really beautiful to look at, regardless of like I'm gonna say the man in it, and I don't just mean like, you know, the gender man or whatever, but like the human in it, the human error that comes within religion. Like I can compartmentalize and be like, okay, if I'm reading a passage from the Bible and it's saying man and woman this and that, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at it as in like, no, they're talking about like the energy, like the masculine and feminine energy between two people or between people. And like the learning in that, and like looking between the like reading between the lines and being like, no, I'm talking about my faith in like the universe and like how that works. Like
Sick.
the plants and trees didn't just form themselves. Do you get what I mean? Like whether it's evolution or whatever, like there's some beauty and some divine in it.
There is,
and
absolutely.
there's divine
yeah.
then in us humans. Do you know what I mean? So I think that part.
Mate, I'm a real studier of, well, the amateur studier of like theoretical physics. I'm really obsessed with like the universe, the Big Bang, all the things and what became before, and energy and stuff like that. And the more you dig down into it and just keep digging down, you're like, there has to be a divine point at this.
Yeah, man.
Or what? Because there has to be a creation point, but then there has to be a creation point of that and a creation point of that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
even if
yeah.
there's just infinity, the whole thing is like, you can't, because it's the idea of infinity is divine, isn't it? You just
Yeah,
can't
man.
take it all in.
Yeah,
It's too much to go. It's human. It's this. It's a
I think
single
that's
thing.
I think that's like I said. I think that's the human error in it all. Is like because we can't comprehend how unimaginable things are.
Yes.
We have to like
Put it in boxes.
Yeah, we have to put it in boxes.
Or
and
genres
we have to,
for our
man,
trade.
Do you know what I mean? And it's gotta be for us to like feel like we can understand it, or for us to feel like we've got some control or some will within it.
Yep.
Like that's the human way of understanding. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Now that's interesting as well with boxes of genres, because a few write-ups I've read of yours, whether someone else has written them or not, are like genre bending, almost like non-defined genre. And I'm totally with that. And I find the same thing myself, because I don't like going, I'm hip hop or I'm boom bap and I'm not soul, but there's some in there and there's some jazz in there. And and I know people like, like Plant Food are a prime example. Woody's other band of just like, well, it's not jazz, but it's not rock, and it's not like, what the fuck is it? It's new jazz. And you start having to put these stupid labels on stuff that really get confusing.
I think that's like the whole thing of like being a musician as well. Like if you're like applying for funding, or like you're applying to play a show, or like I don't know, even uploading your stuff to somewhere for it to be played.
Yeah.
Like it asks you what genre of music is it, and I'm like, well, it's this and 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 it's this. Oh wait, hold on, it's this and it's this and it's this.
You must choose 5.
Yeah, man, it's like impossible. And people ask me like, oh, so what kind of music do you do? And I'm like, well, and it always does start with hip hop, because I think just hip hop for the groove.
Yeah.
Jazz for the melody.
Yeah.
Like soul for the lyricism. Do you know what I mean?
That's
so it's
beautifully
like
put.
it's like
yeah.
all of these things, and then I don't know, like my drummer, he loves playing like he loves playing like a drum and bass groove, or like something that's like super fast and like it gets really techy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, well, but I wouldn't say that I'm a drum and bass artist. Do you get what I mean?
Of course,
but if you come and listen to a show and you're like, oh, that part of that tune, oh, that's so dope. Do you know what
Get that
I
energy
mean?
from it, like,
yeah, man. So I think, and then like I said, with the lyricism as well, like I'm inspired by like faith and gospel and like spirit and stuff, so there's a lot of that in it, but it's not going to be called gospel, is it? Do you get what
of course,
I mean?
yeah. If you put yourself as a gospel artist, I think people wanting to listen to gospel will be like, but it's not gospel. But
Yeah, well, exactly. But I'm not a jazz artist either, and I'm definitely not a jazz singer.
Yeah.
So like, there's all of these different elements that kind of just make up this sound.
That's the beautiful thing about hip hop is, and the thing I always loved about hip hop the most is that it takes a bit of this and takes a bit of that, and it adds it all in and like puts some rap in it. And
I saw a video the other day that was like picking apart a Timbaland beat, and I think it came from like the sample came from like this synth pop, like 80s synth pop band, and then made this hip hop tune.
And synth pop is hip hop
Well,
by that definition, isn't it? Like, yeah, it just
exactly.
eats it. It's great.
Yeah,
I love
man.
hip hop for that, and I feel like we get pushed down the line of the current sound or whatever, whatever era it'll be.
Yeah.
And if it's not that, it isn't hip hop. But I feel people like yourself operate outside of that, and for the benefit of hip hop and for the benefit of the music. Because if it all sounds the same, what the fuck are we achieving?
Yeah, man. I think that's my issue with like commercial music at the minute. Like, it's just, well,
Dry.
I say at the minute, throughout a lot of like early 2020s, 2010s or whatever. Like, yeah, man. It's just the same, different.
Same, yeah.
And yeah,
agree.
man, it's just
It's funny, isn't it? Because it also, and my dad used to go, hip hop all sounds the same, that's why I don't listen to it. And I'm like, no, Dad, it's not true. But like, now you could, like, if you play me like the top 5 songs in the hip hop chart right now, it's like, damn, these are all so similarly
what is
made.
hip-hop now? Like, I
The hip hop
couldn't
charts.
even tell you what
No,
it is.
agreed.
Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, it's
Like, hip-hop's gone, people will say that grime is hip-hop.
It
or
is, I
that-
guess.
Yeah, which
on
it is, and it has its
on a
roots
branch.
in it. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, all right, but what if I say to someone, "Oh, I do hip hop," and then it's like they're expecting me to sound like, I don't know, a drill artist, and I'm like, well, I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
Do you know
I
what
guess
mean?
it depends what age group. If you tell a load of 14-year-olds you make hip hop, they might be expecting something like that.
Yeah,
Tell a load of 40-year-olds like that, they'd be like, "Where's the tribe sound and shit?" You know what I mean?
yeah. True. So much truth, man.
Let's go back to your live stuff then. Because you, when did you start operating with that band that you were in? You were just talking about the drummer. Remind me your drummer's name again.
Luca Ferrara.
Because he's a beast as well. They're all beasts. That's
Yeah, man.
that's the piss annoying thing about it, man. Your band is so fucking sick.
Listen, I poached them all. Like,
you?
yeah, I went to a Yusuf Yellow show.
Yeah. You played it. You played it.
No,
Yusuf
no,
Yellow.
I just went. I went to go watch him. It was at Hi-Fi. I think that 2022.
Yeah.
Maybe 23. I can't remember. It was one of those.
Mad recently.
And then yeah. Like, I've only been with the band for like 2 and a bit years, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more. But yeah, I went to a Yusuf Yellow show. Was like, oh my god, this is sick. I thought his whole setup was really, really good. That's where I like first laid eyes on my partner, who was singing backing vocals.
Oh,
and I was
damn,
like, oh my god, who
nice.
is that? And then he had an open cipher at the end, and I was like, I was feeling myself that night.
Yeah.
I got up and I was like, I spat some bars, and yeah, everyone was like, yo, who is that? And I was like, hi, I've been here for years. Yeah, and then after that, someone, I think Oz Horner, asked me to do a hi-fi, like a Sunday joint thing.
I saw that. That was like a whole headline set, effectively.
Man,
Yeah,
it was
amazing.
sick. It was sick. So I did that.
Off the back of jumping up on an open mic.
Yeah, man.
That's so dope,
I know.
man. That's
I
levels,
felt
isn't it? That
very, very privileged, but I think that's that whole thing of just like putting yourself in spaces.
believing in yourself,
I mean?
and yeah, and killing the imposter syndrome and going, I deserve, should be on that stage, and you've got the talent
Listen,
to put
all
through.
the what's it called when you just like having to grab the mic off all of these guys that are like passing the mic about, and I'm like, yo, give me that, man. Like, actually give me that. I've got something to say. Do you know what I mean? I think that all the years of like doing that just kind of gave me the juice to kind of just stand up and just be like, no, man, I know what I've got. Do you know what I mean?
What a night, by the way. So a guy pulls you up on stage, and in doing so, you end up meeting your partner.
Yeah.
And then getting shows.
Yeah,
and did you just say getting effectively the live band members
Yeah,
together
man.
and stuff? Were they playing with him at the time? Is that?
No, it was like it was different. It was kind of a different setup, but I ended up playing with, doing some original stuff with Oscar, Joe Frost plays keys.
Yeah.
Woody,
Yeah.
Gustavo, who was on Sat.
Yeah. He's dope.
And I think that was the original kind of like setup. We did a show here
Wharf Chambers.
for Nice People magazine.
Sick.
That was like their launch.
You get
their
some
issue
sick
launch.
opportunities, man. Nice People magazine, yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's so
And
cool.
at that point, Misha worked here,
Right.
which was just mad. And I remember seeing her at the side of the stage and being like, "Yo, watch this." And then after that, it kind of grew a little bit. It was just we played like a few shows, like I think just dotted about, and then I did another hi-fi thing. And then it kind of just developed with Luca joining, and then now it's Misha sings backing vocals, me, Woody, Luca, and Joe.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of core sound.
Are you
now.
rehearsing on a regular?
Haven't been. We did a support show last May, which was for Chedu.
Yes,
Chedu's mixtape launch.
That whole? That's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
MC,
whole
and he's big in the
rapper.
game. He's,
Yeah.
Sick guy as well.
Did a support show for him last May, and that was like when we'd written. Me and Lucas spent like 4 or 5 months just in his basement, just making new tunes and that.
Sick.
And then we kind of like put that into like live part, and that was the last show that we've done like to date. But that was this is the sound that we want to like present now.
Got you.
Do you know what I mean?
Got you.
Yeah, I think we did like previous to that. I think we did like Jazz Festival and last time out at Wardrobe. There was a few shows dotted in between, but then it got to that May show, and like I was like, okay, no, this is the sound that like I want to like move forward with.
How are you getting these opportunities? Is it just through all that moving and shaking and knowing people from all the work that you've done? Because like magazine shows, hi-fi joint shows, like friggin' good support slots, jazz festival.
Do you know what I think it is? I think people actually just want to see a rapper that's not a guy. And like, it's like no disrespect in it, but it's like, well, what? Tell me who in Leeds is doing.
I'm literally at the end of my I am trying to make this as inclusive as possible, but this podcast is full of fucking dudes.
Exactly.
I've only just had my first female in D3, if you're familiar with her work.
Yeah.
Had D3 on the show. So.
She was one that sparked my writing.
Really? That's such a big climb. Amazing.
I saw her at the Universal Zulu Nation event.
Okay, yeah. So my uncle have been there. Jesus Christ. Air ambulance.
That was at Leeds Museum.
Yeah. So King Monk will have had something to do with that. Yeah.
And I saw Testament there, who I'd met first when I was in high school, but that was like another story.
Oh, mad. I'll come back to that.
He literally came in to do a talk.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Do you know Rev Chunky?
I don't.
Cleve Freckleton.
Okay.
Brought him in. Dialect.
I know Dialect.
Dialect's dad.
Right. Nice.
Who was a teacher at my high school.
Okay.
Who also actually well back in the day, he used to play in like a band with like all of my great uncles.
Mental.
He went to the same church. So like there's just
such links. That's
rings
so
and
sick.
rings of people.
Dope.
But anyways, I met Testament there. Another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, D3 Universal Zulu Nation at the Leeds Museum, and she did a workshop, like a rap workshop with Agent M.
Yep. Legend.
And I remember just sitting there being like, oh my God, I want to do that. Like, I need to do that. Like, I actually need to do that. And then uni happened, and then like it was just like a domino effect of stuff.
Oh, great, man.
So yeah.
So she came in at the perfect time, D3.
Yeah,
so it's interesting you're saying that the people just want. I mean, that not taking anything away from your ability though, because like you sort of alluding to the fact that people are just sick of seeing men on the bill, so they're getting non-men like. But it can't be as simple as that. Surely it's ability as well.
No. I'm not diluting my talent whatsoever in it, but like, I think there is that thing of. It is a bit of a niche. Do you know what I mean? And like it's something that people are not going to expect to see. Like if I stepped on stage, 9 times out of 10, someone's going to expect me to be singing and be singing. Just singing as well, do you know what I mean? Which is something that I do.
Of course,
do.
yeah.
But like,
really well.
Thank you. But yeah, I think grabbing a mic and spitting bars is like, oh my God.
Yeah,
and
right.
that happened at like Yusuf's show again when he did his first headline at Brudenell, and he asked me to support, and it was like off the back end of like some really shit family stuff happening. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this gig or not, but I ended up doing it.
Yeah.
And then it got to the end, and I was like, I told Misha, I was like, listen, I'm not getting up to do the cypher. I'm not doing the cypher. I'm just not in the mood.
Yeah.
And it got to the end of the show, and he was like, right, I'm just gonna invite all these MCs on stage, like whoever's out there, come spit some bars. And I was like, yeah, I'm cool. Just sat here at the bar. And he was like, yo, where's Phenicia? And I was like, no, don't call me out on stage. But I ended up getting up and spitting some bars, and like, yeah, man, like the whole crowd was just like going off. And I was like, yeah, man.
Sick.
Yeah, man, drop the mic.
That's gotta feel good. That's gotta feel good, man.
It did, and it does. And I am very grateful and very like proud of myself. Like,
yeah.
Stepping onto those stages, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
it makes
like,
all the difference.
Taking the courage within myself to to hold the mic, man. And like to hold the room and to hold space in it, and like, yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
How do you feel? Do you feel the scene is supportive of? Because we're like D3 and who the fuck else? Like there's just, is the scene not supportive to anyone but fucking men? Do you think? And have you come up against anything where like it seems negative, or do you just think we haven't got the infrastructure for it?
I think I've not particularly come up. I can't recall a time when I've come across anything to do with like my gender or how I present like music. I can't. There's nothing that springs to mind where I'm like, oh, that happened because of this. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I've been added to a lineup because I'm not a guy.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I can't say that I felt that that's actually happened.
Yeah.
I think there's been one instance where I've done a show because maybe I was like the only kind of like, I don't even know actually. I was gonna say because I was the only like black like rapper at the time that was kind of doing something relevant to what that other person, that headline was doing.
Yeah,
but I like that was all suspicion. Do you know what I mean? And a passing thought as well.
Yeah,
do you get me? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether there's artists out there, like particularly just in Leeds. I'm just talking in Leeds because obviously there are like loads of female rappers out there.
Of course,
do you know what I mean?
But Leeds and West Yorkshire just seems really short of them, and I don't know whether there isn't supported enough. You don't get them jumping on open mics, so like young 18-year-old females aren't jumping on open mics in town.
I don't know whether it's like a confidence thing or like because it takes some balls to grab a mic from a guy on stage, from like 10 man on stage, and you're the only one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it
does take some balls, and I think the years of like learning to do that has what led me to like do that same thing at Yusuf's show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really hope that like there is people out there, and there is like Elcom is churning out musicians left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
like that's where I've pushed all my band from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I'm so grateful that I've stepped into that community of people. Yeah, and I really do hope that there are like, you know, non-binaries and female rappers that are there that, like I'm saying, take courage and like do that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's necessary, and there is space. If you make space, there's gonna be space.
Defo. And I guess it was great that you saw D3 all those years ago and sort of felt some encouragement from that. And if you're out there, people might take some encouragement from that. So I guess it's just like being out.
I really hope so. And I have been supported. Like I've definitely been supported, like from my peers, and I can always give thanks for the support, like, and for people, you know, putting me onto stuff or like speaking my name in spaces that I've not even stepped into.
Yeah,
stuff
fully,
like that.
man.
And, like,
you get bigged up a lot by round our way, and obviously Chills and people like that put me onto you and stuff like that. But loads of people think your stuff's dope.
I've got so much love for that. So much love.
And let's get on to that, because release-wise, was that you have a big collaborative thing. So I was kind of looking through your Spotify, which is the devil, so apologies for that. But like your own solo discography isn't that dense, but then actually the things that you featured on, things like Tone Central off the top of my head and stuff, you've done quite a lot of features. TJ Tucker. So tell me about, because there's a couple with TJ Tucker, isn't there?
I went to uni with TJ.
That'll
he
help.
was in the year below.
Sick. Beckett met.
Yeah. I think he was in the year below, and he asked me to. I think there was like, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I think I was doing a master's thing, and maybe it was like part of the, what you call it, part of like an assessment or something.
Okay.
To like work with like someone from the years younger or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's how it went. Like, please correct me if I'm wrong, TJ. But we did do something together in uni.
Yeah.
And we kind of just met in that moment. And then once we'd finished, he asked me to jump on this tune, which was Manifest. And yeah, man, love that tune.
It's dope.
Absolutely love that tune.
Super sick, mate.
And then the Get Back, which was, I think, maybe last year or the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's TJ. I've got a lot of love for him, and he's doing so well. I take a lot of inspiration from him. Anytime I see him, like, popping up on my feed, I'm like, oh, yeah, he's doing bits.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And he's always been so consistent, and he's such a hard and dedicated worker.
And he's got that live band as well, not
Yeah,
dissimilarly,
man.
which has sounded really
Yeah,
sick.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
there's
Legends-
Ash Florian who's in there
Legends
as well.
with No Name.
Legends with No Name, that's right. Yeah. They're sick as
Yeah,
well, man.
He's doing really well.
What? So yeah, we've got the collaborative stuff, but like, what's happening with you and putting stuff out under your name specifically? Is the next stuff coming out going to be Are you recording stuff with the band?
I want to record stuff with the band. Yeah, I want to record stuff with the band. We've just got together like a couple of weeks ago for like our first kind of jam / rehearsal.
Dope.
Since last May.
Right, damn.
I know. I took a lot of time out to just like establish my work, like my money work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, establishing my freelance career, because I don't want to work jobs that are not like music related.
Yep.
Like, I love working at Wharf, and I've met like such a community of people here. I've met some proper family working
It's
here.
such an inclusive spot, like one of the
Yeah, man.
most inclusive spots in all of Leeds. And
Like, I literally said I would never work in a bar again.
Right.
And then like I got put onto working here, and I was like, oh, actually, this is something that I can get behind.
Yeah.
Their
Their vibe's so sick in here.
Yeah, man, because like trying to cultivate a space where like people look after each other, do you know what I mean? And doing that within like your working system in it. So that was something that I was like happy to kind of like go back into, like hospitality or like working nightlife and that.
Yep.
So yeah, that's where I've been for like the past kind of like 6 months or so.
Yep.
And now I'm like, no, let's get into studio. I do wanna release music and kind of have like a bit of a rebrand.
Yeah, what's a rebrand? What do you mean by that?
Just going by Phyn.
Okay.
Maybe I want to keep my name for myself now.
Okay, interesting.
I think that's where.
So completely getting rid of the Phenicia.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I'm just gonna go as Phyn the artist.
Right,
Just
interesting.
Phyn. I think that's in my soul and in my head. I'm like, oh, that's kind of the road that I'm on right now.
Okay. Right.
So yeah, within the next couple of months, hoping to like have like a whole rebrand thing and just come out as Phyn.
Dope.
Yeah.
And the band would be under that too?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. There's a few ideas. To like do some beat kind of stuff, not like so recording like vocals just specifically on like a beat and then doing like live recording stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So it's all planning in process.
It's all in the works, man. Yeah. Any live stuff on the horizon?
I've been doing like some like acoustic-y bits, which I've been really enjoying because that's how I started out, with just me and my guitar.
Yeah.
And like I've been really, really enjoying that. I'm doing a LSR charity thing this Saturday actually, which is the 1st of March.
Right.
Yeah, on the 1st of March. That's raising money for MAP.
Oh, yeah. Medical Aid for Palestine.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
And what's that? And you're just coming through with the guitar and playing sort of thing?
Yeah,
That's
just doing like a 30-minute set, I think. Maybe 20 minutes.
So you are just bobbing about, doing little
Yeah,
sets and
man.
stuff, pieces like that. That's cool, really cool.
Yeah,
To support
I'm hoping to do more stuff like that. And then just kind of what I want to do is just create and stack and then release.
Yeah.
And just kind of start a whole process of doing that.
It feels like the next time that you put a project together or have like a multiple tracks that are like all produced or live band or whatever, you're just gonna it just feels like at that point you're just gonna be like, you know, smash Leeds, smash straight to London, do you know what I mean? Just like, I feel like you'll be a globally known name just because of already the reception from the little bits and pieces that you have done here and there, man. I just feel once you've got that organised, it's going to be...
I hope so. Like, I think at this point, I'm just happy to just be able to create, and I'm happy to I'm really happy to just have good people around me that actually want to create with me.
Yeah.
And like I'm so content with that.
Yeah.
So whatever happens from that,
As long as you can be creating and making a stuff.
whatever. Like my goal, after being like a kid and being like, I want to be famous.
Yeah.
Which obviously internally I'm like, I still want to be well known.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I think after that, kind of humbling myself to being like, no, actually, what I really want is to just live from my music and to be able to live from my music.
Yeah.
And I'm doing that. Like, I'm teaching, I'm going into schools and like inspiring young people to write and write about stuff that they want to write about, and helping them write bits of poetry and writing and recording songs with them, and teaching up at Music House and like doing vocal lessons there.
Wow.
And within that, like, just started. There's a girl that comes to Music House to do her lessons, and I just sat down with her the other week and I was like, you write songs, don't you? And she was like, yeah. I was like, well, let me help you write these songs then. I helped her write a song and doing stuff like that, and
Proper fulfilling that.
yeah, man, just like being in the community the same way that like Cleve was there for me when I was in school, but he heard me sing one of my original songs, and he helped me finish writing it, and that was the first proper song that I wrote.
Wow.
And like that will always stick with me, because I'm like, no, like if I can see something in someone who doesn't have a lot of confidence within themselves or like whatever, then if I can pull a little bit of that out of them so they can shine a bit more, like that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Definitely. And imagine if they give the confidence to jump up on stage one day, meet their partner, meet all their band members.
Well, exactly. And I'm just happy with doing that, and happy for like music to be a part of my life.
Yeah.
Like, and be so forward in my life. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I'm content.
Phyn, it's been such a sick chat.
Yeah,
It's been amazing to talk to you. Very inspiring, man. So thank you so much for joining me. Big up, yeah.
Love.
So that was Phyn, aka Phenicia. Go and check the music. Get ready for the new stuff. It's going to be mind blowing. Until next time, big up!